Hello guys, so my name is Vivek Loya. I'm a mechanical engineer with 7 months of work experience in an IT domain. Later, I gave my first attempt of CAT in 2019, followed by my second attempt in 2020, wherein I scored 99.7 percentile. Over there, I scored a good percentile in DILR, wherein my score in DILR was 99.95 percentile, and in Quant it was 99.56 percentile. Currently, I am pursuing my MBA from Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi. So let's move ahead with the CAT preparation. So firstly, CAT is a tricky game, and I divide the preparation into various phases. The very first phase would be completing the syllabus. Before giving mocks or anything else, it is very important that you complete your syllabus. I'd suggest you can take some time before starting to attempt mocks and try to complete at least 20 to 30% syllabus so that whenever you write mock, you don't end up getting very low scores, which will demotivate you. Also, I've seen people preparing from various modules. I'd suggest you to stick with only one module. May that be of some coaching center or maybe some publication you prefer. The reason being, let's say I try to attempt initial few questions from three different modules. In that case, I'd be able to only practice the questions which are of lower difficulty levels. But at the same time, if I invest that time to attempt one full module, I'll be practicing on the on different difficulty levels like basic difficulty level, intermediate and advanced difficulty level. So it is very important that you stick to one module. The choice remains up to you. If you have joined some institute, I'll suggest you to stick with that institute and then later on give few mocks. Once you decided like what source you want to choose from, the next step would be to prepare a timetable. So I won't suggest to make a timetable on the very first day because timetable needs to be customized based upon each individual. So let's say the most difficult part for me was verbal, but I was good at quants and also DILR. So I had invested more time in my verbal. So this thing may be different for different people. So I'd suggest you to start studying for different topics and keep a cap on how much time you are investing for each. So let's say the ratio proportion topic from quant. If my quant is good, so I'll be taking just a day to finish it. But for some other person, he would or she would take 3 days. So try to note down these details that how much time you need for each topic and then make your timetable accordingly, depending upon the level of difficulty and your likings as well. Also, consider the timetable as sacrosanct and comply with it. You can also keep a few buffer days in the timetable so that you finish your syllabus in time and you have enough time to practice mocks. For an ideal candidate who has good number of days remaining for CAT, I'd suggest to complete your syllabus either by July end or mid-August, so that you have good 2.5 months of time, wherein you can try out different strategies of mocks. So depending on the time you have for CAT, you can either follow the order which is given in the module or as suggested by your teachers, so that uh, all the topics makes sense, because if you don't complete ratio and proportion, you won't be able to complete the other topics. Same goes with the linear equations in the case of quants. So it is very important, if you have time, stick to the flow that is given in the module or suggested by your teachers. But if you don't have sufficient time left before CAT, then maybe you can alter the order of preparation so that you can look on for a previous 3 to 4 years of papers and note down the topics from where the maximum number of questions were asked. And depending on this order, you can start preparing in that order itself. Need not say, in this case, you'll also need to brush up a few basics of the other topic, but this will be the best way possible to go ahead in the limited time you have. Also, during this phase, uh, try to give mocks as and when possible. If you are a classroom student, I would say do not miss a single mock, even if you haven't prepared. Because once you start compiling the mocks, you won't be able to complete it on a later front. So stick with the timing that is available or that has been suggested by your teachers. Also, try, if you are not a classroom student, try to stick to at least one or two mocks in a fortnight when you start the preparation. And then when the time is around August and September, then you can maybe give a mock each week. It is also important to analyze those mocks, which will come at a later. We'll discuss it in a time. And like if you feel that you won't be able to attempt all the questions and you're getting less marks, that is demotivating you, it is okay to skip a few mocks, complete the syllabus, and then again give the mocks. But try to complete all the mocks beforehand so that you don't compile things up later on. Also, if let's say if I have prepared only 5 topics of the, let's say 15 odd topics which are there in CAT, then whenever I start a mock, I'll try to glance through those topics and try to attempt those topics. This will give me an uh, check that if I've studied those topics properly or if I haven't studied those topics properly. If not, then I'll go back and study the bits and pieces wherein I lacked and then try to improve upon it. This will be a continuous process, and also this will help you in your preparation, because once you move ahead in your preparation, there you would tend to forget a few topics which you studied initially. So this is very important that you regularly give mock so that you also have a check on what things you are studying. The second phase, I'd say, once you complete your syllabus, it is to build your accuracy. Because in CAT, accuracy is very important. And this can't be built in the last 1 month or so. You'll have to build your accuracy right from the day you start your preparation. So let's just take an example. So let's say you want to score 40% of your marks in your paper, which will generally like fetch you a good percentile. So if your accuracy is, let's just say 60%, then you'll have to attempt 85% of your paper. For the same percentage, if you say if you want to get 40% mark, if your accuracy is 80%, you just need to attempt 55% of your paper. This clearly states that accuracy is very important. If your accuracy is good, you can give more times and attempt less questions and get the same amount of marks. This won't even frustrate you at times, but it will also, and this thing uh, can be improved upon a time. So keep a track of the same as well. The third phase will be the mock phase. Once you have decided what your accuracy is, once you have decided the syllabus and you have completed everything, the next phase is the taking strategies. You need to at least give 15 to 20 mocks before you attempt your actual CAT. These 15 to 20 mocks are in addition to the previous papers you solve. So what I used to do is I used to attempt my classroom mocks on a regular basis, and just a month before my actual CAT, I used to solve previous 2-3 years of papers. So this used to give me a natural flavor of the things that I'll be facing in the exam. I'd highly recommend you to join some test series, because you'll get your scores evaluated, you'll get a good understanding of where you are lacking, and also you'll get an idea where you stand as compared to other students across nation. So this will either motivate you to work harder or at least give a check on where you stand exactly. Once you complete your mocks, then try to analyze a few things. Let's say accuracy. So in a time taking environment, your accuracy shouldn't be hampered. This is a very important thing where students lack. So keep in mind that you always keep a cap on accuracy so that you need not attend the complete paper. You can just attempt 50% of the paper and get the same amount of marks. Also, analyzing a mock is very important, because I've seen students giving mocks twice or thrice a week, but not analyzing those. That will not help you anyhow. Try to give one mock a week and take at least 4 to 5 hours to analyze that mock. This 4 to 5 hours really depends upon an individual, how he can analyze and what score he has made. So this will again be a subjective thing. But once you attempt a mark, try to ask a few questions to yourself. Like, why did I correctly solve a few questions? How much time did I give to that particular question? And was it really a question of that difficulty that I had to spend this much amount of time? Or it could have been done using some shortcut, or it could have been done faster. Which questions did I skip, which were easy? This is a very important question you need to ask and analyze. You can't afford missing out easy questions, because in an average paper, around 50% of the paper will be a easy to medium difficulty level paper, which you can easily score good marks with. Also, try to check your silly mistakes at times. Do not repeat the silly mistakes again and again. So this is an important thing wherein you can try to grow yourself. So let's say instead of multiplying something, I added a numerical, and then I got some wrong answer. So just because of that wrong multiplication or wrong addition, you lost 4 marks. So the +3 you were supposed to get, and -1 because you got it. So in your overall score, you lost an 4 mark opportunity. The 4 mark opportunity is a huge opportunity when you move ahead from 95 percentile and above. Because getting up to 95 percentile is very easy. Getting from 95 to 99 is difficult, and from 99 to getting an each 0.1 percentile becomes like more difficult on a later front. Also, you all have an option to use calculator in the exam, but try not to use calculator much, because that will consume more of your time. Try to do things manually. Try to multiply the unit digit and check if the option has any such digit wherein you can like strike off a few options or all. This will help you save time, and using calculator will consume more time. This is a thing which I observed and even I tried to improve upon. Also, look out for where did you allot time and how did you allot time. In case of verbal, so let's say you are allotting 80% of your time to passages and 20% of time to your verbal ability section. Then you also need to see that how much marks you are getting from those times. If your verbal is strong, give some more time to it and try to get good accuracy so that you can cover up your score from the passage section. The same goes for other two sections. Also, try not to repeat your mistakes. So during my preparation, I had made an Excel file wherein I used to track my progress depending upon each section. So for verbal, I used to track, did I make any mistake in an inference based question, or did I make any mistake in a direct attempted questions. So these kinds of questions I used to track, and I used to see what my accuracy is. So later on, after 3-4 marks, I found out that I was lacking in an inference based question. So I went back, studied that topic, came back and tried to improve upon it. This is how you improve while you are giving marks. Once the syllabus is done, there is not much to do, but you'll have to adapt to the environment wherein you are giving CAT. Lastly, there's one more important thing you need to keep in mind is the environment in which you are giving the test. I've seen students who are very brilliant but lack in the test giving strategy, or lie or don't perform well on the D day. So try to avoid this. A few simple tricks to do this is, maybe you can try to attempt your mocks at the same time when you have your CAT. So let's say I have my CAT at 9 a.m. in the morning. So it will be very difficult for me to go to the center at 7 a.m., wake up at 6 a.m. and go to the center at 7 a.m. So what I'll do is, in order to get adapted to things, I like 3-4 days before CAT, I'll try to adapt to these things. So this will be beneficial to get used to the environment as well. So these are a few tips you can go check out, and also you can talk to your teachers if you have any more concerns. Thank you.